good. At least it looks like we're good. Make sure it's running. Twitch says we're good. Said that last time too. So we shall see. But for now, hello. Welcome. Anyone that's jumping on live or anyone that's watching this after the fact. Last session was not good on my end. When I checked out the stream to make sure that everything was working just fine, on my end it looked okay for most of the time that I was recording. I think the first one was about 17 minutes. However, I was getting notifications that the internet was screwing up with it, that it was freezing, and watching the live stream, it did freeze. It wasn't working, it just did not look good, and there were delays of 20 to 40 seconds roughly, I think it was. It just didn't look good. For some reason, didn't want to work. Then my documents didn't want to work. It was just a mess. So, stopped the recording, started it up again, several more minutes, freezing again, shut down the whole computer, restarted everything. The document didn't want to work at all. That took me like 5 minutes to get back up. My recording software didn't want to work, and then it just stopped. Stream froze, wasn't recording, my session time wasn't even running, so it wasn't good. It was not a good stream. And that was this past Thursday. But thankfully, I think we're looking a little bit better. It looks smooth. Let's see, can I even see it from my phone to double test? Hope this doesn't kick me off. Live. No delay. It's working. So, in theory, we're good. But we'll see soon enough. Because I think the first few minutes were fine, and then it started lagging. But the weird thing is, in the recorded videos that automatically uploaded to Twitch, there was no delay. There was no buffer. There was no lag. There was no freezing. Nothing. It all worked just fine. So I don't know what happened in the live stream, that it just didn't work and didn't translate, but yeah, those clips are up. You can see my frustration in trying to get technology to work. You can hear me talking to no one because the stream didn't want to work properly, so headache gone. It's in the past. I'm not going to worry about it for now. I'm not working on the Cabin Footprint story. I'm jumping into a new short story that I don't think anyone's seen yet. And this one I had 5 pages? Just about 5 pages done in a night. And I haven't touched it since, so I'm going to do a quick read through just to see what I wrote. And this is just a complete rough draft. I was just going through, jotting down ideas, and making a loose story as I went along. But if you can't hear, my throat's not great. My wife's throat's not great. I am out of work today. I will hopefully be back tomorrow, but cheers to a lot of tea. Oh, please be a good text message. Okay. Today's tea, I think, is the Christmas one, so just filled with spices. Good stuff for the throat, good stuff for the immune system, and hopefully easy on my stomach. But let's see. So, the new short story that I'm doing here, like I said, completed about 5 pages, just did it in one night, jotting down ideas. This one is meant to be a much shorter short story, and it is called, for right now, Caterwaul, which I actually kind of like. So that might be the permanent title. Let's just increase erase that. For those that don't know what the word means, I only learned this, I think, a few years back, that a caterwaul is the sound that a cat makes when they're whining. And honestly, if you hear it, it sounds like a stressed or an annoyed meow, kind of. And this short story is all about two cats waking up their owner. I have two cats. Can you guess where the idea came from? Yep. So it's a short suspense story about two cats waking up their owner, dubbed Thomas in the story, and takes a little bit from my actual life in how often my cats wake me up. But more so just the one, the gray cat that you've seen on the stream previously. And the short story is just waking up in the middle of the night, dealing with the cats, but then something starts happening. And it's not exactly the cats that are waking up Thomas. So I'm pretty sure everyone has awoken at some point in the middle of the night to a sound or to something just not feeling right in their environment. They wake up, they look around. What is it? I don't know what woke me up. Nothing seems out of place. I'm going back to sleep. This story kind of plays on that. And having two cats, I'm woken up quite a bit. So those cats are kind of put into the story as the precursor for something that's actually waking up Thomas in the story. And the cats are adorably named after foods. But yeah, that is the gist of the story. Again, it's made to be a shorter one. At this point, I have it at, I said, just about 5 pages. Yeah, it just hits 5 pages. I think it's only going to be about 10, so I'm not adding too much more to it. Today's stream is just making up for the fact that Thursdays was a complete bust, so I don't know how long I'm going to be recording, but I'll work on this for at least an hour and a half, the usual streaming time. We'll, of course, be back again on Thursday, because I don't believe I have anything going on. Let me double check. Actually, no. I will not be streaming this upcoming Thursday. That's useful information. I have a very important event I'm going to, and I will not have time in the evening. So this one will probably run hour and a half, 2.5 hours, something like that. But yeah, I will not be recording this Thursday, so this will count as a replacement for last week and for this week, if I could stop shaking the camera. So, without further ado, I'm going to do, like I said, a quick read-through, just myself here. I see this, and I gotta fix this immediately. And then we'll go right into more writing. But, as per usual, whatever you're doing, art, some kind of project, just going out shopping, working around the house, whatever you're up to, put it in the chat. Let me know, let's have a conversation, and I'm just curious as to what everyone's up to. I had somebody watching that was doing macrame, had somebody that was going to work, had somebody that was writing something alongside me, which I thought was awesome. Just let me know what you're up to. Chocolate sheet. He curled up. The whole sentence has to be redone. Within 2 seconds, I'm already finding stuff I don't like. Good. We're gonna save as new document entirely. Was it the 21st? Last time I touched this was about 3 weeks ago, so it's been hanging out in my mind for a little while, but I haven't been obsessing over it, so hopefully I have fresh eyes to look this over. Which, anytime anyone's writing something, is a common thing I've seen, either authors or bloggers, what are they called, journalists, anyone that's writing something, if they don't have an immediate time crunch, they say write it and then leave it. Don't do it, don't look at it, don't touch it, walk away from it for a time. Whether it's an hour, it's a day, it's a few days if you have the time, and then go back to it. And that helps you to see it through a different perspective because you're not as close to it. You're not glued to the screen writing it in that moment. You've taken a step back, and that helps you to find the mistakes you've made, poorly worded sentences, things that just don't make sense. As you're writing it, everything sounds great. It's the same thing in editing. You go back and you find all those errors. You take a second to step away from it. Like in this case, it's been almost 3 weeks. I guarantee I'm going to find a lot of mistakes, but I'm also going to have a fresher pair of eyes to actually go over this. And that's just a universal thing for anyone writing, or doing any artwork for that matter. I used to paint a lot, and if anyone's familiar with Bob Ross, I was working in his style using massive brushes and a palette knife, and found out that it was very much a calming process, but it became stressful when you're trying to do it in his time frame. He was such an experienced artist that he was able to do it effortlessly, but when you stop, come back to it, you see those minor mistakes that you're making, especially as a novice. So I went back and I'd look at it like a day or two later and could still add some stuff to it. But yeah, it goes for anything. Take a moment, step back, and look at what you're doing, and you'll find things that can be better. But that's all about it. That's all editing actually is. I think the music is good. Unfortunately, I tweaked it, so I had to guess to try to get it back to where it was. Um, if it's not loud enough, please let me know. I was messing around a little bit with Twitch and my recording software to see if I can't get the actual music to play through the stream. I screwed something up in my recording software and had to go back and fix it all. So one of these days, the music will be smoother. But I also have to find a playlist that doesn't have advertisements every 10 minutes, so we'll see. We're actually overdue for one, so I'll likely be muting that in a moment or two. Yeah, for those that just jumped in, hello. We're working on a short story called Caterwaul. And I was informed by a listener that the music is at a fine level. Awesome. I've also readjusted the camera positioning, so hopefully when I raise my hand, I'm actually on the screen. Good. better, both conveying somewhat similar context. Thomas wondered how he managed to find sleep at all. Sweat saturated the mattress's sheets around Tom's stocky frame, confirmed that he was going through. No. Was going through yet another heat wave. That looks okay, but the music looks like I'm matching it by pitch, so we turn it down ever so slightly, and that should be good. Alright, so the burglar's doing a twisted cookies to give away. The cork of the bedroom's door slipped his mind in the early morning hours. He gave a slight pull upward and the door released, swung inward with a rusty whine. Thomas moved the door, its frame, the flooring, even the entire apartment building was crooked. Outside of a select few minute aesthetic issues, the uneven structure affected outside of a select few aesthetic issues, the uneven structure affected only that door and made it an annoyance to open when the weather spiked. So the drips saturated the carpet on Thomas's feet. So this has to be reworded completely. Fix this one to make that one work. Silence lasted only a brief time before the claws at the base of the wooden door continued. Belfront paused this time, grazed the... Yeah, I mentioned Gatsby. Belfront paused this time, grazed the bottom of the bedroom door in rapid succession, as if attempting... Belfront paused this time, grazed the bedroom door in rapid succession, as if they attempted to burrow a hole. There was a steady rhythm of one of the cats, while the other, Thomas imagined, took on the supervisory role. He counted the seconds. Pulled his pillow tighter around his ears. Cotton cover made his head sway. Across the room, so you barely leaving the ground as you rounded the bed frame. You refrained from rolling over the rest of the mattress and thought, if you just shut up, of course I will hurl you back to sleep. It works, but something about it. What? Okay, yeah, fair. The weird things that Word suggests, like, half the time I just don't trust it. And the fact that it still won't acknowledge this as a word despite how often I use it makes no sense. I think that works there. I'll come back to it. A firm grasp, the doorknob twisted. Maybe I don't need that, because the next paragraph kind of works with it. Two shadowy blobs trounced across the moist shag carpet and darted. No, because it sounds like the entirety of the flooring is wet, but it should only be around his feet. Even then, if he walks across the carpet, no, this wouldn't make any sense because he'd have to be in a swimming pool at that point. Sweating is one thing, but this doesn't make any sense. Turned to the bed, unseeingly hid. One took refuge beneath the bed and crouched behind a myriad of suitcases. The other found... Suitcases, odds and ends. Spare. Go with bed sheets. Something a little bit better than blankets, in my opinion. The other found the mattress to their liking and began to claw. The sheets with abandon. Was that right there? Yes, yes it is. I don't like, see, that's another thing with like Word. It's like, why is there such a large gap here when it's only supposed to be, I think, an inch? Up here, same thing. But this is much smaller. And the bottom one is much smaller. It doesn't make any sense. That's a gap I put in, but look at this. Instead, this massive gap exists. I do not understand. And it doesn't acknowledge it either. But it's because it's a paragraph and it doesn't want to break the paragraph off. I don't understand it. Okay. The feline paused and repositioned herself. She postured once again, hind legs leaned back with front half of her body. Nearly should be lying flat. The two front paws gripped the sheets, and even from within the nearly pitch black room, he could see the claws coming out. back and ignore these edits. Now, for those that are just checking out the stream, I write in the proper English way, not the American English way, so neighbors, colors, favors, they're spelled properly. Word doesn't think so, though. And yes, I know there should be a comma there, or so you think. Swipe, swipe, don't move the screen. Deliberately. Did I use that word already? No. It's odd how when you look at certain sentences, things like this, bedroom, throughout, attention, you can look at a bunch of different words that are specific to sentences that are either verbs, adverbs, adjectives, whatever they're going to be. And if you use it in one sentence, and then use it in another sentence, or use it in a short paragraph, and then use it again in another short paragraph, people see it and they're like, it sounds a little bit wonky, you could have used a different word, choose another way to phrase it. He, 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 he. 4 times in, I think, 4 sentences? And it's okay, it works. Yes, I can throw his name in one of those, but at the same time I don't have to remove the other 2 to make one of them sound right. Or using the. Ooh, don't do that. It's just one of those things that it always made no sense to me. When you read it out loud, it sounds different. When you read it in your head, you kind of don't see the same thing. So, if I'm using the same word twice, I'll probably look for a different way to phrase it, but it's just odd that in our language, and most languages, simple things like the don't matter. Use it 10 times in the same sentence, or and. Oop. And it doesn't make a difference. Just strange to me. But that's the English language, I suppose. This is why we edit. Cat found her way, but it doesn't acknowledge that the sentence is improper. It'll tell me when I'm missing punctuation. Even arguably unnecessary punctuation. Within 4 seconds. No, I don't want to update now, thank you. Also, half an hour with 0 ads. It's pretty good so far. What's the American spelling? Is it A-Y? Yes. I used feline in this. No, I used. No, did I use? Yeah, I used cat twice. I didn't use feline. Okay, second cat sculpt out of. So strange. I enjoy lo-fi, but I never understood the addition of words, dialogue, scenes in movies. It never made any sense to me. One small step for man. Which one is this? Okay. I do, however, recommend this channel, though, for anyone watching, catching it live or otherwise. The Relaxed Movement is the channel name, and there's a lot of good music. Go check them out. Information is down below, I believe. Should be complete. I do have to add a tag for YouTube, though. I don't know why it removed that. I think maybe because Twitch didn't not Twitch, OBS didn't recognize the little emblem for YouTube. Small red, rounded corner rectangle to triangle. I can hear one of my cats now. I wonder which one it is. No! Rolled up hammock, boxed up, serving platter. Yeah. Which, fun fact, it's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. But yeah, I do have both of these things tucked up underneath our office bed. I'd love to have a hammock, like actually set up. That would be nice. But I have no real way to put it out in my yard. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Do that. I'm back into bed, he dislodged mucus from the back of his throat with a cough. Cat from the floor jumped to the crew's owner. The moment Thomas's head connected with his pillow, in a much more delicate manner, the cat made his presence known. He respected his owner's space. He curled up beside Thomas's hip and began to purr. Just go to sleep. And here's where we skipped a bunch. Yeah, it works. Alright, so that'd be chapter 1. I did want to end it there. So that would be technically right there, but I'd still have the gap between that. But I believe I did put a time frame somewhere in here, so I have to find it again. Should be that. Kitchen. I'll ignore that. Oh, there was this screw up. I knew I had to fix that. Let me just... Does it exist? No, I got rid of them all. Good. I am curious. Like, I even mentioned it, like, earlier, like, how many people name their animals, their pets, after foods? I know of a few people that have, myself included, and I'm just curious how many people actually do that. Or, give them crazy names. Rather than, this is Orange Cat, which people do. But yeah, if you have pets, let me know in the chat what you name your cats, dogs, horses, parrots, iguanas, whatever you have. Unless you have spiders. They're not pets. I don't play that game. They're not pets. Wrong tense. There we go. I don't think I can fix it. Cats will be back later. You two, no fights, and leave the couch alone. Scrape the pads, not the couch. Nope. Nope. Okay. Yep. There's another break. I think I might do the. I don't think I need another break. I think that's okay. It's 2 full pages for that. What I've found in Word documents, which I think I mentioned maybe in the last full stream, was that They typically run 2.5 to 3 pages, depending on the size of your book. And if we're talking about books, my book Before the Shadows is actually a more standard book size, I believe, or at least compared to all of the books that I have in terms of fiction writing. It's, what is it, 8.5 by 11.5, I think, or 8 by 11.5. It, honestly, I think it's a nice size. I think it's good in the hand. It's not too large, and the words themselves show up nicely enough. And actually, I think in comparison, I think it's a 12-point font for my novel. This is the first time I'm actually writing with it in a Word document. Typically, I just use the 11 and I don't even care about it. The only thing I change is the title for my documents. I just don't care. Like, it doesn't bother me. I can see the words just fine. Down to like an 8-point font, which that's the smallest I think it goes in Word. It honestly, I don't care. I highlight the entire document and then just hit 12 and it just adjusts it completely. But I don't know. I leave it in whatever font it is and just write and then adjust it later, which I do want to look more into actually working on editing, that kind of stuff, for like book formatting, just so I know it myself. Just means I can edit the book a little bit better before I send it off to a true editor or a publisher, and they can look at it and it looks a little bit better. And there was the last of my tea. Okay. I'm almost caught up here. These flew by, blurred. 18 was just as much for his sleeper kills as they were for his cats. Slumbered in separate places on the sectional couch and made no movements. Separate places on the sectional couch and made no movements. No. That's what I'm talking about. Same word twice. I change that owners. Hushed goodnight. That makes more sense than soft goodnight. Subjects have moved away in the cooling breeze. Nope. Cool breeze is fading. The world blades muted sporadic yet guaranteed traffic. This is what I wanted to highlight as well. World blades muted the sporadic guaranteed traffic. I think I can make this two different sentences and have it flow a little bit better. I think that sounds a little better. The sporadic guaranteed traffic just outside of his bedroom window became a thing of the past as the whirl of the fan's blades helped to mute anything outside of that room. Outside of that room or the room? Or his room? Helped to mute anything outside of his room? Outside of that room? Not that room, anything outside of the room. I do mention his bedroom window. Where already identifying as his outside of the room, so the room still works and it identifies still to his because we haven't changed the subject. So I think the room still works. Yeah, it still works. I'll leave it like that, at least for now. Still has clothing. He took in a peaceful environment. Did he fall already? And climbed into bed. Yep. Nope. No. Needing to Thomas fell asleep where he rested. So let's take off the side of the bed. One arm light elevated atop a pile of unfolded work clothes. The room took on an entirely new. I don't like that. The room took on an entirely new. Sensation seems okay. Element, not so much. Environment, no. Because we're immediately going to describing new environments in the next two sentences. That seems a little bit better. The room took an entirely different atmosphere to nights prior. Oop. There we are. I swear if this hand has nothing to do, it's immediately going to the beard every single time. As a child, I was joke that I just wanted a nice mustache to curl or a beard to stroke in thought. And here I am, with a beard. Instinctively, one hand goes there, and just, yes, indeed. Don't know why. Just something about it. Anyone with a beard can probably testify to that. That just some days you just need to just stroke the beard and just think contemplatively. Or maybe I'm just insane. I just like my beard. I don't know. Cloudy out today, and looks like it's finally settling in that I'm not just being completely whitewashed by the sun. I've got white houses off in the distance. I've got the road and just like open sky. So it's like all this light just pouring straight in, and there's nothing I can do about it. I have a light curtain taking up half the window, which I guess is helping a little, but yeah, no, every single time. I even have white things on my desk that just help to like bounce it back and just smack me in the face with light. So hopefully the cloud coverage is going to help it dull slightly. Here I was, I think in my second stream saying like, oh good, summer's here. Warmer weather, sun's out. It'll look nicer. Nope, nope, I was a fool. I want winter, I want grayer skies, I want better lighting outside. Which, I enjoy the snow. In the area of Pennsylvania that I live in, we get a decent amount of snow here and there in the winter months, but I think autumn is my favorite month because you can see snow, but you'll also have a little bit warmer weather. You can go out, have nice fires, go on a walk, get ice cream. It's not terrible. Spring is kind of just as cold as winter for us, so not much changed, but we had a nice little warm spike. How's the weather where you are? Or even what state are you in? Let me know in the comments. I'm going to post a comment just to start getting the conversations going. Because I think that the last 2 times I really had like good back and forths, I started, but I think the only thing I did differently was just posting the information about the streaming music. There we go. First comment, look at that. Alright, back to this. The room took on an entirely different atmosphere to nights prior. Thomas's mind wandered from, yes, an Arctic expedition to operating an ice cream truck. The peace he searched for in the summer's heat finally came to him. Peace would not last. Oh. The hidden tangerine. Weather's checking out here in the northeast. About 50-ish. Not too bad. Nice. Good to hear. And thank you for being consistently on the channel. I appreciate that. Your viewership is much appreciated. And hopefully more people pop in to jump into the chat as well. Thank you. However, the second you posted, we lost a viewer. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Maybe it's the hat. I'm scaring people with the Hawaiian shirt. I don't know. Let's see. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Get more into the meat and potatoes. I've hit 6, so just bouncing a little bit into the next page because I think it just hit 6 pages. And I think I have like 4 lines of notes at the bottom, so it may just be at the bottom of the 5th page, but I think I do have like a significant gap further on that I have to adjust. Count 4 and just delete that. It was me that preferred clementines. Tinier oranges, yes. I myself prefer pears. I love pears. Or kiwis, though I don't eat much. This much, or that much in this part of my life. If only. Times as I shut open the sound of the cats, once more at the bedroom door. That sounds better. He slid off in the bed and shook his partially numb arm while he approached the door. Why do you think this has to be? No, his fist. F-I-S-T. Did I spell that wrong? No. Then why is it suggesting that it's different? Or it has to be changed? His first thought, it doesn't even make sense, word. His fist thudded against the wooden surface. He scratched his paws but continued at a much slower pace. What? I don't know how many other people have cats, but for whatever reason, they're not like dogs, they're not like birds, they're not like any other animal that I know of, for domestic purposes at least, in that they want to get into closed rooms. They love it. I've had cats at a few points in my life, um, and I've known plenty of people that have had pets as well. Cats and dogs, cats and birds, different things, cats and hamsters. And the cats always want access to a closed off room. I don't know why. They just for some reason say, I need to know what's going on in there, I need to hop in, let me see beyond this door. And the second they get in, they look around, huh, it looks the same. And they don't do anything different. They go around, they sniff one or two things, and then they just make themselves at home or scratch something, destroy something. But I don't get what the closed door has to do with them. And again, it closed the door. Oh, come on, update already. Thank you. By the way, that art is actually done by me. The entire cover is not my, well, it's my book, but the entire cover was done by a friend, Mara Elko, who is a phenomenal artist and graphic digital designer. She did amazing work. She took my idea and made it real. Even like the back. If you get yourself a copy of Before the Shadows, you can see like the grains in the wood subtly detailed in there. I love it. It's beautiful. Even like the drops on the window. Everything is amazingly done. But she suggested that I do the drawing, which I already had. I think I just edited that one slightly. I sent it to her. She took it and posted it into there. Very nice. It's actually described, like I completed that section of the book where it describes the door in my novel before I even had that design done. And when that one, like that was the image I wanted to use and she recommended it, I sent it to her, she put it on there, I'm like, yeah, that matches, that fits perfectly. So, thank you again to her for giving me the artistic freedom to throw my work there. I'm not by any means a great artist. She is a great artist, but it's cool to see my thing on the book itself. But I digress. Door locked, cats inside, but gave in. the big book. Nope, too far. Hit something. No, no, don't do that. There we go. There we go. Throw stuff. I spelled that wrong? I spelled that wrong. What? Because a military lowered the screen. Involuntary. No, that doesn't sound right either. Yes, that's the word I want. Swings reflexively, lowered the brightness of the screen before he returned his eyes to it. No. To his watch. He could faintly make out that it was past 1 in the morning. With his head lowered, he noticed the second shadowy blob pass between his own legs. Almost undetected. Fudge, do you really have to be in here too? You two are going to fight again. Don't like that. Gone. Elizabeth trailed off, holding no authority. Where are we? Middle of page 5. Okay, good. Or page 5. There we are. He gave and went back to bed. Back to his bed. No. Before he collapsed into the sheets, he checked for any signs of the cats on the surface. When the cat slowly crawled across his... No. I have to change that first. So his world trailed off, holding no authority. He gave in and went back to his bed. Before he collapsed into the sheets, now onto the sheets, he checked for any signs of the cats on the surface. Oh my goodness. Getting on the opposite side of the mattress was all the others scratched at the window. Nope. Odd at the window. He ignored them both and closed his eyes in the dark room. I already said dark in the previous. In the dark room, in the dark room. People's lights past the top of those windows. Oh, yellow-ish. We get to another break, and then this is where stuff starts happening. Loud encounter won't disturb the peaceful sleep, Thomas once said. Here, Feast opened his eyes and hoped for their shenanigans. Nope. The cat's shenanigans to him quietly. Quiet was not what he received, however. That doesn't sound good at all. That sounds better. Quiet room was not what he received, however. A few seconds of continual fan hums, shaken up by the sweat. A few seconds of... For now, I think I'll keep that. It's not the word I want to use or how I want to segue that, but I think it's okay for now. Let's bring that back in. And that has to be another paragraph. And this one I just said from the beginning I did not like. not make any sense. The vehicles, multiple vehicles, but it's describing their particular light. This regards to them. Oh, you can't see the error. It's saying that it doesn't need the apostrophe at the end. Does the blue line go away? Yeah, it does. Okay. And this, yellow-ish. Ignore. Or do I add that to the dictionary, and then the next time that I try to write fish, I lose the F, and it's just ISH. And now that's going to be in a finished document because it's no longer highlighted. You can't win with this thing. At least I can. Okay. Somewhere on that here. Looks good, but take a minor break. Un momento, por favor. Got him back. And look at that. The viewer count hasn't changed. So clearly I'm not the problem. Alrighty. I like the song. That was a good one. Nice way to come back. Alrighty. So let's see. So I believe the rest, yeah, it's just blank, so the 6th page doesn't even exist. But this is the last bit, and then we get into like actually writing rather than just editing and refreshing. It's time to shut up, bed sheet. That should be a separate sentence right there. The bed sheet he had curled up in no longer. But I changed the tense. door was Cupcake. That was the name I kept, right? No, that's not. I changed that one. Fudge and Cucumber. 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 Oh, there was Cucumber tail thrashing back and forth. She sat in front of the door, her hips prominently out to each side. She sat in front of the door, her hips prominently out to each side as her head turned to look at her owner. Yeah, he left the door open. Good. That was another idea. That wasn't even a note, so I don't have any notes on here. Alright. Oh my goodness. I promise I can write. I just stare at my keyboard all the time. I think I mentioned this in one of the first live streams. I wish I paid attention more in my computer class to actually get all of the keys done. I can type without looking. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but I prefer staring at it when I'm writing. That's just me. But unfortunately, I did that with my first novel, and kind of became a habit again. So I have to get away from that and actually look up at the screen and watch what I'm doing. One day, perhaps. Don't need that. Let's segue into that. Nice word for catching that one. I don't think I need that part. Possibly to observe the doorway with the collection of belongings. I think it. Wait, did it acknowledge bed frame as a word before? Did it say it was 2 words? Bed's frame. Bed in its frame. I think I ignored it because it gave me 2 different things. Bed, bedroom, bedroom. Yeah, I broke it up because I don't think it knew how to acknowledge that, so... Oof. Center that, thank you. We're gonna keep it as 1 word. No, I can have that same thing here. No. Does that make sense? Both cats huddled in a corner and focused their illuminated eyes toward the bed. Their postures were tense and flesh scale that fluttered to the sides of a feather duster. They flipped back and forth violently, invisible until the cars outside of the bedroom window passed by. There's no way I can change that because it's going to become present tense again. Has to be another sentence. It's gonna say take, isn't it? Yeah, ignore that. Yeah, because it's referring to these two things. The phrase of it takes on a whole new level. Did I say that was one word or no? same. I think either or are correct, so I just have to pick one and stick with it, but I did it at some point in the halfway mark. I'm gonna make it one, because that makes more sense to me. My goodness. I don't like that it misaligns that. I wonder if I have to specify that he's wearing a type of sleep trousers. He's got like sleep pants that he just wears. Before I mentioned that he just passed out wearing his clothes. He just fell into his bed. That was that. Here do I have to specify? Or would the reader understand that some people wear clothing when they go to sleep? There's some people that go to bed nude. There's some people that only wear like their underwear. There's some people that wear a full outfit, or they just leave the clothes that they had on before go to sleep. So it's like, do I have to specify this would be his sleep clothing, his sleep attire, or does it even matter? Does anyone care? Am I just looking too much into it? This is the crap that makes me sit and stare at a sentence for half an hour. So I'm ignoring it and moving on. But I am going to highlight it. I'll be back. The stream is still working just fine. Good. Sheets remaining on the ground. come back to that as well. I think it still works, but I might just have to reword the sentence and remove it. It's strange how some present tense words or verbs work in any situation. I had one further up. I'm not even gonna bother looking for it, but there's some that just the ing thing. It works with past tense and sometimes it doesn't. I don't get either or, but one day maybe I'll understand it. Sheets remaining on the ground. I land with Does it still think that I need that? Yeah, it still thinks that a semicolon's appropriate. We'll go with it for now. Choose it from within. Is that how I phrased it before? Uneventful. Yep, I described it the same way. Gone back. No, I don't like that. New sentence entirely. Fix it. Stop. Yeah, me too. Hmm. Actually, move that. There should be one more section on the end. So, and like I said, each page on a Word document is roughly 2 to 3 pages, depending. At least that's what I've seen. Just double check. Yeah, depends on how many breaks there are, but it'll be roughly 2 to 3 pages. Just looking at 7, roughly 21. I think I'm going to hit 10 pages on this document, so it's about 30 or 26, somewhere in that range, which I think is a reasonable short story, at least for me. That's a short story I would enjoy and I'd listen to, or I'd read. So yeah, I just need to set this, and then this is the last portion, chapter, however I want to break it up. This is just this in between. Did I have another space that I had to fix? No, I think I got that. Yes. Yeah, I already fixed that. Okay, so then just this. Or do I still keep that in there? Yes. Not a bit. This time more. And then this will be the next one. Boom. Next one. Then the final one. So then I don't. Oh, never mind. I removed it. Good. I think this, yeah. If I'm just counting it as the weekend, Friday, Saturday. It's Friday into Saturday, Saturday into Sunday. Do I want to do it in 3-day periods? If I do it in 3-day periods, I have to break it up again. Because we start with an unknown day, move on. Following day is work, assuming it's a Monday. That puts us on Sunday, so Monday, days flew by, the end of the week, now we're back to Friday evening. Still the same night. So it's Saturday, and then we jump back into the following week. So yeah, we'll keep it here. The dates don't really matter as much because a weekend can be anything for anyone. So for me, I work Monday through Friday. If I work Monday through Friday, there's people in other positions that will work Thursday through Tuesday. So their weekend is going to be Thursday through Monday. Is going to be Tuesday, Wednesday. That's their weekend. The weekend only applies to somebody that works, and that's the end of their work week. If you count it as a normal thing, well, then people work on the weekend, so it doesn't really apply to a good time frame because he's still working or he's off on the weekend. I think it's just a better thing. Again, maybe I'm just overthinking it, but I think a weekend looking at like Saturday, Sunday is more universally understood, but that's just coming from me, from my experience. Though I've known plenty of people that have worked third shifts and their workday doesn't even look the same. They're getting out of work at 6 a.m. and they go to bed at noon. So it's just different schedules in general, but again, maybe I'm just looking too much into it. But for right now, we're just going to say Monday through Friday. He's on Saturday now, going into Sunday night. So that was him going to sleep the following day. Nope. Does that matter? I said it was summer, it's a heat wave. I don't think I mentioned a season, though. I think I did my first draft of this and then removed it. So another heat wave, so we assume it's summer. Or at least an area in which there'd be a considerable amount of heat flown through at some point. Definitely wouldn't say winter. Even in warm places, winter is typically taming things, so late spring through early autumn. No seasons mentioned that I can find, so. La, la, la. I'm back. For the following day, Thomas preoccupied himself with anything that kept him out of the house. Lag. Good. We're back. Also, I'm shocked. I stepped out of the room once, but I'm just surprised that there's been 0 advertisements this entire time for the music. Again, another 2 cheers for the relaxed movement for a very nice playlist. And no ads this time around. No ads for Harbor Freight. Oop, I offended somebody who liked Harbor Freight because now I'm down to 1 viewer. Sorry. Do I throw a season here? once, put him in a different environment. Is it worth adding it now? I mentioned that he goes to work. That's it. And then we're in a different environment. We're in the same environment over and over and over, but it's only the mention. This is the first time he actually gets out of the house and it's described. It doesn't necessarily have to be. I'll put it in for now, but if I want to change it, I think I'll do that in a little bit. But I mean, it's broken up at the very end of the story anyway, so it won't be hard to find. But for right now, I'm gonna add that. I'm gonna add that in. Sad that he goes to work. There's nothing. I can always add one more day where he goes out, but I'm making Thomas a fisherman. He goes out and he enjoys his weekends on the lake. How am I spelling that wrong? Oh, no H. Got listed twice. Intermittent raindrops. Coerced the fish within the pond into the surface, nipping at the false flies. Stylish shoes hung just above the edge of the water as the rod cast out back and forth. Lure, fly lure, on the end of his rod, and then grazed the water. I don't need that part. not that? Oh my gosh. Okay, that's definitely not it. Oh wait, no. Okay, that's the type. Alright, I'm gonna use the more specific name to fix that. Now, sunnies, I think, is just a term, like a generic term used for like certain types of bluegill fish. Bluegill are much smaller, only about like the size of your hand, maybe a little bit bigger than that. Sunfish, however, are those massive, like 6 foot wide and like only a few inches thick kind of fish that just, they don't look real. They dwarf people. But yeah, there's a complete difference between sunfish and sunnies. So I'm gonna stick with bluegill to remove any misunderstanding. People can look that up and they'll find the actual things. Do have to add something here though. The water between nibbles, not nibbled. can't spell that, but I struggle spelling interesting. I think we'll go another 15 minutes and then we'll call the stream. But I'm liking where we're at. I think I added, what, a little over 1,200 words? And edited a great deal of it. 1,500 words. Yeah, because I'm changing tenses again. Oh my goodness. Okay, finally at the last. Yeah, finally at the last section here. I don't know how much there is. I've just hit the 3-hour point. So I think this is where I'll end the session today. I think we made a good bit of headway. Just a few notes. There we are. And we'll have that set up for the next one. So that's the division, and then the rest of this will all conclude the short story. So yeah, I'll hit 10 pages easy. Should probably hit 11 pages, to be honest. Because I'm right here, and this is already a brief set. I'm showing this part with my fingers. I'm just weird. But that part's good. I need to add a little bit to that, so it'll probably come down to where the notes begin. And then I'll have the final section really begin down there. And then it should finish up. So yeah, I'm thinking about 11 pages, and this will be done. And I hit 1,500 words today. I'm happy about that. Did I? Wait, no. Because it was at 1800 when I started, or 1900. I can't remember what the document was at. Hold on. I think it was like a 19. No. Hmm. That'd be roughly 1800 words then, depending on what I actually got. Shakes camera. But yeah, I am knocking everything over. Um, yeah, roughly 1800 words. I'm content with that, along with not major edits, but some decent ones throughout the story. Um, spent the first probably 40 minutes going over the document, just a brief glance, and then editing and rewriting, adding more. So not bad. I'm happy with that. Um, again, for those that are tuning in, or that still in, or that are going to be watching it afterwards, I am not going to be on this upcoming Thursday, what is today? Monday, 21st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, the 24th. Um, I might do a weekend stream, maybe not, but I'll definitely be on next Thursday. You can catch me then. Same time as per usual, 6 o'clock, and I'll go for my normal hour and a half. Stream should be on its normal progression after that. But yeah, sorry for last week. Glad I was able to make it up here with a session and a half's worth of time. But I hope everyone enjoyed jumping on. Please, again, just like continue to jump in, say hi, take time, do whatever you're doing with this. If some guy in a Hawaiian shirt typing away is your thing, awesome, glad to have you. Um, but feel free to jump into the comments. Tell me what you're working on, what your art is, what your projects are, if you're just cleaning the house, if you're going out grocery shopping, if you're traveling, and this is just a good way to keep time or help pass time. Let me know. I'm curious. I want to know what people are up to. But for now, like I said, I think we're going to end the stream. Thank you, everyone, for jumping on. Thank you for everyone that subscribed. Take care, everybody. I'll see you sometime next week, hopefully Thursday. If not, a little stream beforehand. But yeah, other than that, take care of yourselves. I'll see you next time. God bless, and peace out.